Welcome to the Dark Banquet. Ready yourselves for a tale through the blood-soaked world of sanguivores, the blood-feeding creatures of nature. Because maintaining a blood-only diet is so specialized and relatively rare in the animal world, these beasts have undergone significant evolution and natural selection to develop unique traits. These diverse creatures range from the infamous vampire bats, to leeches, to bedbugs and mites. Prepare to be immersed into this bloody world.
Blood is best defined as a fluid that circulates in the principal vascular system of human beings and other vertebrates. In humans, consisting of plasma in which the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets are suspended. Humans on average have 1.2 to 1.5 gallons of blood at any given time. Plasma is roughly 55% of the total volume, of which 92% is water and 8% is dissolved substances, which are mainly proteins. Meanwhile, white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets compose the other 45%. Red blood cells, by concave disc, solely serve to circulate oxygen throughout the body using the molecule hemoglobin, lacking nuclei or any other organelles.
Many sanguivores use anticoagulants to stop the blood flow from clotting. Anticoagulants do not stop working after sanguivore finishes feeding. Instead, the blood flow freely continues. Hirudin, one of the strongest anticoagulants known, is derived from the leech Rhudomedicinalis. Hirudin works in conjunction with painkilling anesthetics, a vasodilator, and hyaluronidase, which promotes spreading of the leech saliva. Vampire bat saliva contains other anticoagulants, such as draculin. Because the clotting of blood is a long, multi-step chemical cascade, anticoagulants have evolved to act at different steps along the pathway. The long process also has made it more likely that an effective anticoagulant could evolve, as it does not need to act at a specific stage.
The first of the three species of vampire bats, Desmodus rotundus, the common vampire bat, feeds primarily on mammals. Due to the relatively recent influx of domesticated animals like horse and cattle in Trinidad, one of the bats' natural ranges, Desmodus has come to favor these over the less common and harder to find wild prey, like tapirs. Their easy prey spurred greater populations and encouraged preying on the large mammals. To reach its prey, Desmodus jumps up to 3 feet through the air. This is done using powerful pectoral muscles and elongated thumbs, which are the last digit to leave the ground. The other vampire species, like Diamus youngi, the white-winged vampire bat, and Diphyla equidata, the hairy-legged vampire bat, are unable to perform these acrobatic jumps. However, these have learned other strategies to obtain access to their prey.
The second of three species of vampire bats, Diamus, feeds primarily on poultry, biting at the toe. The species has thicker hind limb bones, allowing them to feed quite efficiently on ground level. It has cleverly learned the skill of mimicking chicks in order to gain closer access to hens. Once snuggled up to the mother, the bat bites it on the chest, taking advantage of painkillers and vampire bat saliva to keep the victim calm.
The last species, Diphyla, is thought to be the most primitive or least evolved from the vampire bat's common ancestor. The species' hind limb bones are extremely thin, making them clumsy walkers. Although the bones are unable to stand strong compressive forces, they may withstand much stronger tensile forces. This fact indicates Diphyla's primary method of feeding, hanging from tree limbs. The calcar, a bony cartilaginous extension of the heel bone, typically increases bats' aerodynamic efficiency. However, it has uniquely evolved in Diphyla as its sixth digit, able to help it climb backwards among the trees. Like the giant panda's sixth thumb, which is actually an extension of the wrist bone, the evolution of Diphyla tinkered with another body part. Because it is able to hang below branches, Diphyla generally bites around the cloaca of avian prey while hanging below.
Now we come to another type of sanguivore. Whilst waiting for prey to make itself known, leeches of class Hirudinia unassumingly cling to reed shafts, using a suction cup on their tail ends. 10 eye spots allow the leeches to detect movement and changes in light intensity, signaling them to strike. Once motion is detected, they bend their bodies into a horseshoe and spring away from the reeds, continuously receiving more information and undulating their bodies to follow the target. Once the leeches contact the prey, they latch on with suction cups and their jaws, filled with denticles. Rhudomedicinalis, the medicinal leech, has 3 jaws and about 100 denticles per jaw. An airtight seal forms around the bite. glands lining the suckers secrete a mucus-like polysaccharide that aids in adhesion as well as digestion in select species. In addition, the anticoagulant Hiridin works. Due to negative pressure, the initial suction succeeds, but peristaltic contractions of the animal's digestive tract enhance the suction. The leech may remain attached to the host for up to an hour before dropping off, and ingest 10 times its body weight in blood. Like vampire bat feedings, the strong anticoagulants may cause the bleeding to continue for up to 10 hours. After this feeding, leeches may survive 3 years without another meal.
Bleeding, or leeching, has been extensively used throughout history after its popularization by Galen, who followed the four-humor system in the 2nd century CE. Leeching has been mostly misunderstood for centuries, evidenced by its use on George Washington, French troops in the 1800s, and Joseph Stalin. Although leeching has been overprescribed in the past and is now badly looked upon, it still has practical uses in reattachment surgeries for human and pets. Leeches drain accumulating blood so that new arterial blood can arrive at the reattachment site, allowing damaged blood vessels to be repaired and new veins grown. Along with the maggot, leeches are one of 2 biological devices approved for use in medicine. Unfortunately, leeches often carry Aromis hydrophila, an endosymbiotic bacteria from the leech's gut, which necessitates an antibiotic regimen after leeching. Additionally, leeches may carry trypanosomes, blood-borne parasites, which cause many diseases, though these are rarely in infective stages.
Although vampire bats have been maligned and persecuted over the centuries, humans have real reason to dislike Cymex lectularius, one of the 3 species of sanguivorous bedbugs, and the only one that routinely preys on humans. These bedbugs spend the majority of their time hiding close to their hosts in dark, rough, dry spaces. The bugs may come out of hiding around 3 or 4 a.m. and feed for 5 to 10 minutes, making 3 to 4 bites once a week. However, nymphs may last months without feeding, and adults can live without a meal for over a year. The lifespans and mating of bedbugs may be sped up to 3 to 4 weeks in warm conditions, but will be significantly longer in cooler conditions. These factors make eradication of existing colonies much more difficult.
Bedbugs may spray between habitats in 2 manners, active and passive migration. The former, active migration, occurs when the critters voluntarily run to a new home, often using pipes, phone wires, or cables to relocate between apartments. If bedbugs are picked up and moved, for example when throwing out an infested mattress, then they may fall off and scuttle into someone else's home. In addition, bugs may passively hitch a ride on unsuspecting birds or bats, who spread the bugs to a new home. Migration is evident in the rising number of bedbug complaints in New York City, from 0 in 2003 to almost 7,000 in 2007. Human globalization has exacerbated the bedbug problem over recent centuries.